Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women.
Donald Trump cannot escape the Jeffrey Epstein questions that come in waves and spits and starts and whatever the words are. And it's a glorious thing, a wonderfully beautiful thing to behold. Donald Trump is not even in the country right now. He is in Scotland promoting his golf course that he owns. And everywhere he goes and everything he does, Jeffrey Epstein. I have 3 clips here, each one more crazy than the one before. Every answer he gives is just blathering nonsense that not only doesn't remove the problems, they make them worse. His explanations contradict themselves in the same sentence. He's cracking up. There's no way that he is not being pummeled by the stressors that this creates, trying to extricate himself from suspicion from the MAGA base. Look, we all know it's possible, if not probable, that Donald Trump raped children. It's bleeped, but you get what I'm saying. It's such serious crimes, I have to tiptoe around the way I talk about it. The words that I use, otherwise respectable outlets like YouTube will demonetize, because it's like, look, companies don't want their names and their companies anywhere near this type of topic. That's how serious this stuff is. Watch this first clip of him. The reporter asked him, doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name is in the files? I guess getting to the point of, wouldn't you know if they're there or if they're not there, if the likelihood that it's there, why would your name be there? And his answer is just a meandering stream of consciousness trying to grasp at every little thread that he can to try to get himself out of the suspicion that is currently just a cloud, like he's a character in the Peanuts. He's Pigpen. Watch this.
That you have not been briefed on the Epstein files, or your name has not appeared in the Epstein files. But doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name is...
Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. It's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this, those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey. They were run by Garland. They were run by Biden and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony. Like, as an example, Christopher Steele, a person you know well, happens to be from your country. But Christopher Steele, as an example, wrote a book, a dossier. We call it the fake news dossier. And the whole thing was a fake. The whole thing was a fake. They can put things in the file that are fake.
Makes a ton of sense. First, I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released them. Makes total sense, right? Absolutely, yeah. He's saying, in the same breath that he says they can easily put something in the files, they could have fabricated this, he's also saying there's nothing there because if there was something there, they would have released them. Yet you won't release them because there's something there, even though you just said there's nothing there, otherwise they would have released them. Which is it? It can't be all the things, Donald Trump. It cannot be all the things. And the overarching, the umbrella question here that everybody should be asking is, why is he fighting so hard to refuse to release the files if there's nothing there? And if Democrats created them, fabricated them, why did they not release them? Or did they put information in there that wasn't damaging. That's how they faked it. Further, he's admitting that he can fabricate intelligence. It's easy. It's easy to do. They can easily put something in the files that's phony. They can put things in the file that's a fake. How much confidence does that inspire in you in whether or not Donald Trump's government will be faking all kinds, from HHS and RFK Jr. lying about studies, having AI just imagine studies, making up, fabricating studies to justify health policy. And it goes deeper than that. It goes into the economy, whether job numbers are correct, to national security, whether intelligence is actually there that would predicate an attack on a foreign adversary. And all of this right now is to try to secure Donald Trump some kind of peace and escape from these allegations. These clips come in 1 minute successions. This was just 2:55 local time in Scotland, 2:56 local time in Scotland, 2:57. They're coming fast and furious. This next one is Donald Trump denying that he does drawings, even though all of us have seen the dozens of drawings that he does and has done and has auctioned off that have made the front page of the Washington Post. Here he is telling you, I don't do drawings. Well, I do drawings. I just don't do drawings of naked ladies.
I think I heard you say something the other day, that the drawing that was the subject of the Wall Street Journal report.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
You think it was fraudulent?
I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women.
These goalposts keep getting moved. I don't draw, he said on Truth Social. Now it's, I don't draw women. What's next? I don't draw my signature as pubic hair. When are the goalposts going to stop being moved? When is MAGA world going to be like, wait a minute, all of these lies, all of this obfuscation, all of this distraction? What's true here, Donald Trump? When are they going to ask that? Next clip is, this is a thing of beauty, where he's trying to get himself out from being accused of a crime. And if he actually didn't, sorry, I've got a hair or something on me. If he actually didn't commit this crime, he wouldn't try to justify the actions of others who did commit a crime or were associated with the criminal involved. If you get, here, let me play the clip. We'll talk about it on the other side. It's a doozy. Watch this.
I had everything, right? And I was a very successful business guy. He was a very controversial. Who would do a controversial drawing? Now, with that being said, they say there were many letters done by many people, and in many big people, big successful people. But I just don't. When you talk about files, I just keep going back, and other people too. Even the enemy says this thing is not correct, because if we had it, we would have used it on the guy. It's a bad issue. They say it's a good issue for Trump. Do you know that my poll numbers are up 4.5 points since this ridiculous Epstein stuff? My poll numbers have gone up 4.5 points because people don't buy it.
First, the polls have not gone up. I talked about this at the end of last week. Harry Enton, we'll just throw up a screenshot from that video that's like 3 minutes long of him going through every single facet of Donald Trump's approval ratings are down, exponentially down in some cases, right? But here's the thing. He says, who would do a controversial drawing? I didn't do this. I'm not in the book. I didn't do this. With that said, he says, they say there were many letters done by many people, many big successful people. If someone accused you of, let's say, check forgery, shoplifting, whatever, theft, and you didn't do it, and you say, well, I didn't do this, But look, lots of people do that. Lots of people steal. Why would that come to your mind to try to make the crime very common, to try to explain it away if you had nothing to do with it? The answer would just be, yeah, I didn't do that. I don't steal. I didn't forge a check. I didn't rob somebody. I didn't steal a car. You wouldn't, yeah, well, I didn't do it, but lots of people do that. Oh, yeah, lots of people. He is such a bad liar when it comes to covering for the crimes that he likely committed. Allegedly likely committed. Possibly committed. No need for allegedly there. He possibly did this. I guess it's up to the lawyers to determine whether it's probable or not. Anyway, what do you think? Another good day for Donald Trump. Bad day for Donald Trump is a good day for America and Americans. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line and leave me a fewer than 3-minute voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another. The headlines obviously talked about the passing of Trump's big, beautiful bill. But did you catch what the headlines did not make note of? This same beautiful bill hands over nearly $40 billion of our tax dollars to ICE per year. This is more money than most countries spend on their entire military. And we're granting it to our version of the secret police. Despite raids on the increase and Trump's near constant mention of deporting U.S. citizens, much of our mainstream media has avoided talking about this funding increase. Or worse, they have twisted the bill's language to frame this spending as good for the citizens of the United States. This should be the biggest story in America right now, and it's not. And look, you'd be naive to think that this is anything other than by design from the GOP. Tools like ground news are an essential part of your news consumption for examples just like this. By gathering the world's news in one place, organizing it by story, and then analyzing just how far right, how radical each unbiased source actually is, ground news will expose blind spots like this ICE funding, and it will give you more context than you can get anywhere else. Shouldn't we be learning from history? We have seen Trump's playbook before, and the comparisons to regimes of misinformation and terror are alarmingly plentiful. Ground news will help you stay ahead on immigration, the economy, or simply bring your attention to stories missing from your newsfeed. Both Ground News' app and their website are smarter, more reliable ways to access the news unfiltered, to stay informed in the face of MAGA wanting to keep us in the dark. Scan this QR code or head to ground.news/Dollemore now to score 40% off the same Vantage plan that I use, which gives you unlimited access for just $5 per month. Or simply click the link in the description below to begin saving big. The right is absolutely banking on you to be uninformed. Stay ahead and see all the news with Ground News.